All right, so my name is Chris Cox. I'm a funeral director here at Lindquist Mortuaries. I've been here for about 4.5 years now, give or take a few months, but I've really enjoyed working here. I am from Indiana. I was born and raised in Columbus, Indiana. I lived there until I was 18. I went on my mission to the Baltic states. And after that, after a short stint back home, went to BYU. So I moved down to Provo. I met my wife there. She was at UVU at the time. And after getting married, she said I didn't really get a say in where we were going to end up. She just wanted to live in Utah. She didn't want to move back to Indiana, which was okay with me. And we've just been slowly moving up north. We lived in Orem for a little bit, in West Valley for a little bit, and then I started working for Lindquist. Then we moved up to Woods Cross, and now we have a home here in Layton. So my wife and I, we just celebrated our 8th anniversary in December, and we have 3 kids. We have a 5-year-old, her name's Midge, and then we have 2 boys, Will and then Benny. Will's turning 4 this next week, and then Benny is 1.5. So quite chaotic at our house most days.
Sounds like fun though. Sounds like fun.
When I was 14, freshman in high school, one of the assignments we had was that we had to job shadow a career we were interested in. Funeral directing was not on the docket for me at that time. I was really interested in being a doctor. I was also interested in criminology at the time, and I thought of mixing the two, criminology and medical, being a medical examiner. And for obvious reasons, they didn't let a 14-year-old see an autopsy, and I was still trying to figure something out that was remotely close to that. I had somebody in my home ward who was a funeral director, and he invited me to come job shadow him, and I did, and I loved it. From the very get-go, it was just a very intriguing, interesting experience, and I left that job shadow and was like, I'm gonna be a funeral director. Everybody thought I was crazy when I said that. My friends did, my family did, but it stuck with me. It stuck me from there on out, and that's what I've wanted to do since then, and I finally became one, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I studied sociology, so I have a bachelor's in sociology. I felt like it was a good base before getting into mortuary school. After I completed my bachelor's, I went to Salt Lake Community College, and I have an applied associate's degree in mortuary science from them. I did that in conjunction with my internship as an apprentice funeral director. Completed school, completed my apprenticeship, took the national boards exam that's required for funeral directing, and then I was a fully licensed funeral director after that. So not only am I a funeral director, I'm a certified crematory operator. My background in that area, though, helps me to kind of educate families and just to know a little bit more of the process, be able to explain better to anyone involved what this involves itself, but kind of just gives better background.
You know?
Yeah, so my mission, I did learn Russian. I would not say I'm fluent by any means in the language. I still understand pretty well when I hear it, but just recalling speaking, yeah, I still fumble around a lot, but I do enjoy listening to Russian and hearing it. Yeah, so I think back to it's actually right around the time that my 3rd child was born. I was actually on paternity leave when I started meeting this family, funny enough. There was a young boy in my ward in Layton at church that passed away very unexpectedly. Just for the family's privacy, I won't do too much details, but he passed away very unexpectedly, and I got talking with the bishop at the time and said, hey, I'm off on paternity leave, but I'm happy to offer any help that I can. sat down, met with his parents, met with the Relief Society president, the bishop, planned the funeral service, worked the funeral service, all while I'm technically still off. And it was just very impactful to me because it was so close. I didn't really know mom or dad before I met them through work. They shared the same pew as us, and their boy and my second oldest would play together. They were around the same age. And so when I heard that he had passed away, it just kind of hit me hard because the Sunday prior, him and my boy had been playing in the pew together. Dad and I trying to not let them make too much noise, and it was just a very unique experience serving somebody that I knew from a different area. That wasn't just somebody I met randomly through the job, but somebody that I knew very closely. And that I still see, every Sunday at church. And it helped me grow a lot to take care of somebody that close. And I felt like I've been overcritical on all of my mistakes, if you want to call them that happened during that service, that nobody else would even recognize or notice. But it helped me to grow a lot. And I think of that service and that family quite often, especially even now when I work with younger families with children. I think of that family every single time. When people come in here, this is their worst day. Frankly, they've either lost their dad, their mom, their child, brother, sister, somebody very, very close to them. So they're experiencing some of the worst days of their lives. Take kind of the logistical aspect of the job so they can focus on the emotional aspect of it. They can actually experience the grief they need to go through, to work through, while I'm over here handling everything else, and they can do that. But as a funeral director, you do have to have that professionalism, that separation of, I'm going to be the sane person in the room who can help these people get the logistics of this event done, so that way they can sit there, have the best experience that they can while grieving for their loved one. A lot of personal reflection, as far as like the physical skills, like embalming, setting things up for services, running services. That's, again, personal reflection, and also just asking for advice. I'll go to other more experienced directors and say, hey, I've noticed this. What's your thoughts? How could I do this a little bit differently to get a better result? There's the Utah Funeral Directors Association. There's a lot of different articles that they have, as well as the National Funeral Directors Association, with alternative options that can be presented of, hey, we've always done it this way. You can also do it this way. And so going off of other people's experience, I'm one individual who has 5 years of experience, but if I'm able to pull from hundreds and hundreds of people with hundreds of years of experience collectively, that just helps me be a lot better. We communicate through an app on our phones called GroupMe, where all of us are together, and we're constantly getting messages throughout the day of, hey, this family's coming in to see their loved one. Can somebody help me? And getting that person set up so they can spend some time. Our manager, Bobby Lindquist, will send a GroupMe message. Hey, here is a first call. Somebody has passed away. What directors are available to help this family right now? To go to their home, bring them into our care. We'll text each other. We'll email each other. We'll talk to each other. It's just constant communication between all the directors to try to stay on top of things. I really like working with people. I like hearing about the families and getting to meet them, helping them through this experience. As silly as that sounds, like, it really is just a wonderful honor to help these individuals go through what can be considered the worst times of their lives, to help them through that process is a very rewarding experience that I don't know, it makes me come back to it constantly again and again. Like, even when you have the hard days, you have a meeting with the family and you finish it and you go, yeah, that was a wonderful chat that we had, and it just feels rewarding. um 3 words I'd use to describe, or 3 words my wife would describe me with? Sporadic, honest, fun. I feel like those are the 3 words, I guess.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Of course.